Alright, so what I'm going to be doing here is putting some new fencing across these gates that I got fixed up, that the storm took out when it blew down a big huge branch on them. Got this hunk of fencing here which came off one of the other gates. It's still usable, so I'm going to use it. I just got to get some of the old wires that were holding it to the gate out of there. And then I'll get this thing stretched across this gate and get them hung back up. Okay, that ought to do it for this one. Once I get some wires on the top and bottom bars, I'll be able to stretch that fence a little tighter. It should look pretty good. But, alright, now I'll get some wire and a few more clips. There we go. Okay, so here's my second gate. I got some more clips and stuff. I got a piece of fence to put on this. But this is actually a 5-foot gate, and the piece of fence I got is 6 foot. So I'll have to chop a foot of it off after I get it stretched onto here and all that. Get it stretched tight, then I can cut the excess off in it. There, I'll get that one stretched tight. Got some excess there. Now what I'm going to do is take a marker and mark up the side of this fence on each one of those things so I don't cut the wrong piece of fence, because if I cut the wrong one of them loops, it'll goof my fencing up. And then I'll just stand this thing up and take a chop wheel to it and just cut along those black lines. Put this block under it so I don't nick into the cement, and I should be good to go. Grab some needle nose vice grips and bend these ends over. Loop them together like the factory fence is. You can see these needle nose vice grips work pretty good for flipping that around. Get this extra piece of wire excess out of here. I had a little extra that I left over because I didn't want to cut it short on the end, and that end was a little bit goofed up from being bent. So just left that excess on and went in through a good straight part of the fence. Once I get that all cut and kind of twisted on out of there, should be all cleaned up and ready to hang back up. And put some wires around this part of it and tie that fence to the top and bottom bars. I didn't have any actual fence wire, which is that aluminum wire, so I just used the pieces of the fence that I cut out. A little stiffer to monkey with, but works good. Being it's galvanized wire versus the steel or the aluminum wire. Getting these twisted around there just seems like it takes forever. Of course, like I say, I'm using that hard galvanized wire too versus the aluminum wire that they generally use. I didn't want to have to go buy any, and I didn't want to have to wait, so this does it. And usually cut them bars off and have them on the inside, but I'm probably just going to leave them like that because the new clips are flat one side and round the other, to where the old style clips were round on both sides, so they come into the center of the bar. These new style clips just keep that piece flush to the outside of that bar. So here we are. That's what it first looked like, and that was when I got them tore out. It went from that to that to that, and that's with the fencing cleaned off, and then getting them cut apart, getting them straightened back out. There they are, straightened out, all set and ready for fencing. And there they are, completed. Okay, so there I have it. The gates are back on. So, as you can see, they turned out pretty good considering what they went through. But both gates are back on, and that's good to go.